Hi everybody, and today we're going to be going over a kitchen design, and I'm going to show you a time lapse of how I'm designing this kitchen behind me. I'm going to explain how we went from architect's drawing to a different kind of layout where I'm trying to incorporate a working triangle and have everything located close to your cooking and cleaning and freezing in your fridge. So working triangle is very important, and sometimes when you get architect's plans, he just does a basic drawing, a basic layout to give you a general idea. So here we're going into a different option, totally different from architect, and explaining the whole process and the logic behind it. Also, in this video, we're going to do a giveaway, a free kitchen design for your own space. So if you subscribe, comment, and liked our video, we will pick one of the lucky winners and we will create your space just like you see behind me, in color, in 3D, so you're able to see your kitchen and how it could possibly look after a kitchen renovation. So again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, and comment below, and enjoy the video. Hello everybody, today we're going to be working in a new kitchen for a cottage. It's a custom house built outside the Toronto area, very close on the Lake Simcoe. It's a beautiful waterfront cottage, humongous place, and they're looking to do a modern kitchen with the traditional kind of elements in the whole house. So they're gonna have the wood beams, and they're gonna have a bunch of other interesting and exciting stuff. So the customer sent me a floor plan. This is a basic architect's drawing, and this is how the architect laid out the kitchen, and that's what they're recommending. Again, architects don't spend a lot of time on designing the kitchen or thinking how it's going to function. It's just a basic, understanding. If the client wants to go with this, great. If they want to do something else, go ahead and do it. Most of the time the customers change the design, like we change the design because it's based on the customer request and how they're going to be using the kitchen and what they're going to be doing. So this particular client has a designer working with them, and the designer recommended to remove the pantry because it's only 3 feet wide by like 9 feet deep, so there's not a lot of things that you can put in there. I do agree with that, and one of the option is going to be opening that space and putting all the heavy appliances into that space, and then another option just kind of keeping it the same. So we'll see as we start working with the drawings. We'll see where it takes me. And yeah, so again, the inspiration for this kitchen is basically this design. So very clean line, elegant and modern, and using some wood elements and some super matte finishes. They don't want it to be as dark, they want it to be a little bit of a lighter tones, and yeah, they're going to be doing a herringbone the floor, hardwood floors. So there's going to be a lot of wood elements in the kitchen already. So again, going plain cabinets is a good way to go, because in this particular image we're looking at the concrete floor, very clean and nice, and when we change this into wood floor, this would become a totally different look and feel. So it's not my recommendation to go with the wood floor, but this is what they want to do, and this is totally up to them. Again, I'm just here suggesting, recommending. At the end of the day, client is the boss, and client decide what he wants to do and how he wants to look. So here we go. So we have basic measurements. Again, they didn't give me a lot of information, so part of this kitchen I'm guesstimating. So there's exterior wall 16 inches, and they told me the structure of the house 2x6, so I'm just subtracting a foot, and then when I go to the job site, I'm going to remeasure. I'd have to adjust some stuff because they didn't give me a full architectural plan for some reason. They said it's not to scale, and in any case, I'm just gonna work with what I have. So again, the entrance to the house is in this area. So you come into the home, nice big great room. So this is going to be I think 18 or 20 foot ceiling, elevated, and then they're gonna put amazing structural beams in there and a big fireplace on the bottom here. and yeah, a lot of nice elements. And then we have unheated screen porch, which is going to be like a nice glass sitting room overlooking Lake Simcoe. A beautiful place. So all of these elements are very nicely designed. I think the layout, having the dining room and then the sunroom right beside the kitchen, calls for a nice big island with the overhang overlooking the lake as well. So the way I see people is sitting on the backside, and then you see architect put people sitting on the back to the stove. So I mean, you don't want to be cooking and having people behind you, I mean, in front of you cooking and your back. Like, this layout doesn't fully make sense at all. But again, like I said, architects, they just slap it in there, and without a thinking, or like talking to the client about the kitchen design. So when they start building the house and they start talking to kitchen designers and interior designers, they start laying out the space and kind of planning it out. The sooner you do it, the better, because they already put all the exhaust pipes in. And what I'm recommending is to flip the fridge and the stove on the other side. So again, they're not very particular on cooking, so they're not going to be cooking a lot in this kitchen, so it's more of a look. So I am looking how to make this working triangle in here, but he said don't worry about the working triangle, just make a nice design and make this nice big open space modern kitchen, and then we'll go from there. So we'll see where it goes. Again, as I start designing, things will come up. So I'm going to be using the 2020 design. Okay, so we have one of the versions ready, and this is basically going to be the starting point of this design. The most basic version, where the cabinets are going 9 feet tall, so there's nothing more of a regular standard height. And cabinets are not going all the way 10 foot to the ceiling, and this is the keeping the price point lower. So again, based on the customer budget, this is how the look is going to be. And as I was saying, I switched the fan on the other side, so you have the fan, the fridge in here, and then you have the sink in the middle, additional sink for this fridge area as well. Here it could be a coffee or oven microwave, and this could be a coffee station. So that's one of the options. And now I'm gonna change the design a little bit and give them other recommendations as well, and see what options they like. Then in the island, I did more drawers and extra cabinetry. The front of the island, this is a 5 foot by 8 foot wide, so it's very big island. And I also did waterfall kind of look on the edges. So that's one of the options. Okay, now we're gonna go into option number 2 and add some modifications to this and see where it leads to. But I have some other ideas, so that's already designed. Option number 3. So just to go over everything, this is the first design that we created. And basically we are going on a 8-foot ceiling, so we're 2 feet away from the ceiling, and this is a general layout to keep the cost down, because the higher you go, the more expensive it's going to get. So if you want to keep your budget lower, don't take your cabinets on a 10-foot ceiling to the ceiling, because it's going to increase your cost. However, in this design, I didn't really like that the fridge is very far from the working triangle. So you have your stove right away on this side, and then you have your oven in the corner and your fridge, which is the reason I reduced the fridge size to 42 inch, so we can switch it with the oven. So the fridge is in the working triangle, and that was created in this design. This is actually a second option, adding the cabinets and going to the ceiling. So that's an option how it could possibly look. And the last design was this, which is again reducing the amount of cabinets but make it more interesting and adding some wood elements, because they're gonna have a lot of wood beams, and adding a stainless steel hood and some floating shelves, and relocating the fridge to this location. So now the fridge is in the working triangle, and because it's a new build, the window also could be shifted slightly, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in exact spot. So if they wanted to go to a 48-inch fridge, they could possibly do that. So it's totally up to the client. When you're building a new home, you have that flexibility, but if it's something that you already have, shifting a window could add additional cost. So in this case, it was possible to do a 42-inch fridge and keep the fridge in a corner. If they wanted to go to 48, they would have to shift the window, which is also possible in a new build. So again, I hope you got some ideas for your space. Always think on the working triangle and how you're going to be using the space, how many people are going to be using the kitchen, and what you need placed and where, in order to create a functional and interesting design. Also think of the people when they're coming, so they're not interfering with you. For example, as the architect was putting, that they're sitting in your cooking zone. You want to be able to have the people outside the kitchen, so when you're prepping and entertaining, you have your own space. And again, don't forget that to subscribe to our channel, like our video, comment below, and we'll pick one of the lucky guys to create your kitchen for you in exactly a similar layout with your space, but in color, so you can have an idea of how your kitchen could look like. Thank you very much for watching. You have a wonderful day and have fun renovating your kitchen.